Good day, and welcome to another episode of Jimmy Jaunt. So on today's ride, Tom and I met over at our standard coffee stop. And on the video, I don't have anything set up as far as our conversation with a Sanford Police Department motorcycle unit officer, basically a motor cop. He pulled up shortly after we got our coffee and was standing around the bikes talking and just figuring out where we're going to go for the day. There you can see Tom on the right-hand side of your screen. He just arrived, and I had arrived at the same time, so we went and got our stuff, talked to the officer for probably about 20 minutes, and then began to hit the road and head on up to St. Augustine is where we decided. So when we got started, we are heading up 415, pretty much urban area, not really busy city, but it's just starting to get out into the rural area, which is kind of nice. They just redid this roadway, so beautiful day, nice sunny day, no clouds, no rain. Temperatures were probably in about the 60s, so it was a very pleasant day to be out on a motorcycle. And now you'll note the truck that we pass here. It was kind of interesting. I wasn't sure at first, but later on in the video you'll recognize the truck. I'm not sure what route he took, but obviously we were driving along. We did not have any plans on taking the quickest route, so we did a lot of back roads. Tom was a very good job of finding twisties or unfamiliar roads, to me anyways. We hit a couple that were almost like they were abandoned, but yet once you got down far enough on them, you found it was a very nice residential area that I never would have expected existed back there. So we talked with the officer, the Sanford Police Department motor unit officer, for probably about 20-25 minutes, and it was a good chat. Young officer, he has been riding the Harley-Davidson for Sanford PD. Most of our county, or surrounding counties, and even I think with the exception of Daytona Beach, are all running BMW RTs. The officer was commenting that he just can't quite keep up on any high-speed pursuits like the BMWs can. But that's just the build of the bike. Daytona Beach actually uses the Victories, which I thought that was very interesting. So I'm going to try to get some pictures here in the video for you at the end of the Sanford PD motor unit and also the Daytona Beach Victory police unit. I think it's more of a show thing. Even the Sanford PD officer was talking about how when he first saw them, they all had black uniforms. They don't wear white or blue. They had black jackets, shirts, pants, boots, gloves, and the bikes are basically a black completely, including the tinted windshield. And he said when you first look at them, they almost look like something out of Judge Dredd. We had little short jaunts that we did have to go onto a major road, but as soon as we could, Tom was able to find us some more back roads, the long ways to get there instead of having to deal with traffic or congestion. So now we're starting to get a little bit more out into the country. away from the cities. Few nice, friendly people here. And you'll notice I get behind Tom. It's mostly because of traffic or people on the right-hand side, mostly bicyclists, or as you saw in the previous clip, a person walking. We've always just done that as a riding group for courtesy for those people. And you notice there's that truck again. So I don't know at what point he decided to come onto this road, but I wasn't sure at first, but I noticed those mud flaps and I realized that, yeah, that's the same truck. So we passed him again, got back out into some more country area, getting further and further away from cities. And even though we do stay on county roads, sometimes we'll have to hit a Florida highway. But we've been able to do pretty good about getting across Florida without having to hit major roads. Here Tom just broken in his bike on mileage, so he's starting to get the throttle. Give it a little gas there, Tom. But he was having fun. And here Tom and I did a fairly good job of staying staggered and tight formation. He's a good rider. I'm very happy to be his co-pilot. He does very well, and he responds evenly, not too much variance in how he rides. And we kind of did that all through the day. Just as soon as something came up, we both seemed to realize it at the same time, and we moved out of the way. And then right after, we'd get right back into the right lane, where I prefer to be, unless I'm passing. And yet one more example here. This is the St. Augustine distillery we found and pulled in and decided I wanted to get some whiskey. They just released their double barrel or double batch whiskey, so I said, hey, let's just make a trip up there and I can pick up my whiskey and give it a try, and if I like it I can make another trip. But we get parked here and went inside, and I ended up getting hit on the head, but I'll go into that in a little bit here. So the nice feature about my camera is it has a motion detection. So when the bike is off, it has a backup battery that it runs off of, and it detects motion, and it will turn on for a minute or so. But I thought it was interesting. These are some of the images it caught off the back camera, and looks like they run quite a few trolleys through here. This was probably a total of 45 minutes that they had 4 trolleys pass through. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So then we left the distillery and started heading back towards Sanford area. There's one of those damn trolleys again. I've always liked this bridge. I can't remember what it's called, King's Bridge or something like that, but it's basically to get across the intercoastal back over to the mainland. And I've always really enjoyed it. It's, to me, very Art Deco. Looks ancient. I don't know if it really is ancient or not, but it is a drawbridge, actually. For as tall as it is, they obviously have some boats that are much bigger. But nice building. A nice area of St. Augustine, kind of the old downtown area. So now we're on our way to find a spot for a little lunch snack. Another reason I like riding with Tom. He doesn't always have to be at a restaurant. So I like to have a lunch handy or some snacks and just find a nice quiet area or a park, relax, get off the bike for a little bit, but I don't need the hustle and bustle or the cost of going to a restaurant on every trip or every weekend ride. So here we found a nice spot to have our snack. It's actually Fort Mantez National Monument. The ferry was closed, so we couldn't get across to the monument. And then there's the main information building, and behind it is the entrance to the ferry, so you could take the ferry across if it was operating. They've got several trails that you could take, so I'm thinking that would probably be another spot to come back here. So we stopped here for a little bit, had our lunch. Tom had a cigar, I had plenty of water, and then we headed off again. So this is the loop, or what I call the Ormond Beach Loop. It's actually a very fun road as long as it's dry. If you get a decent amount of rain, the roads will flood. The water level is so close to the road surface. But anytime I'm on this side of the coast, I have to go through this area. And as you can see, there's a lot of motorcyclists who probably feel the same way. It's a nice scenic little trail. It's a little busy at times, but for the most part, you can always get through it fairly quickly without having to get stuck behind a camper or anything. Kind of one of the hidden gems of Florida motorcycling. So on the accident that I had at St. Augustine Distillery, as I was pushing the door further open because it had begun to close, just stepped through the threshold, and the door mechanism up above that holds the door, or actually closes the door automatically, decided to descend really rapidly. So it basically fell off the little 1x1 board that was nailed into the frame of the door and hit me square on the head. Unfortunately, I didn't have my motorcycle helmet on, so I got one hell of a headache. Luckily, the nails in the board didn't come down first and poke through my head, but I did still have a pretty good lump. It took about 2 days to go away. So on the way back, we ran into some other motorcyclists. Tom and I always follow staggering. They really did not, so it was a little tough to pass them because they were both taking up the length of at least a car. But we had no problem getting around them. So yeah, I think Tom had fun with being able to open up the throttle a little bit on the bike now that he doesn't have to worry about the break-in period on a new vehicle. Well, there you are. Have a good day, and thanks for watching.